What's going on YouTube? What's going on Facebook? Thank you guys so much for being here. I'm gonna just fix a little bit, and that's what it is. We just listened to, or I don't know if you did. If not, I'll go through my recap. I got like 4 pages of notes. I tried to get everything. Joe Biden, slow Joe Biden State of the Union. I'm gonna give my response. Let me know what you guys think. So I guess early on, I'm like, if he doesn't slip up like 4 or 5 times, I consider it a success for him. He definitely made quite a few kind of funny gaffes. I don't know. But overall, I guess for his standards, not bad. For like normal standards, I don't know. I got all the notes. I guess it's always got like a real geriatric vibe to it. That's my first thought. It's like I felt like it was almost effective when he was yelling at Russia. And then I'm going to go through like step by step kind of what he said in my response. But he was yelling at Russia. So everybody's like, and he's like, it's like this geriatric yelling, which it might actually work. And I'm not saying he did a great job, but it's like, you got this old man, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I might do anything. And it's like, oh, like angry grandpa or something. He's like, go to the refrigerator. Get me some mayonnaise now, or else I'm gonna. And you're like, he's bringing up Vietnam. You're like, I better get the mayonnaise for grandpa, or else like, so, So in a weird way, I felt like it low key kind of. I bet Putin might be a little scared because he's like, yo, I literally don't know what this guy's gonna do. I'm not like afraid of him personally, but just the fact that he's that old and he's like yelling at me, slurring his words, like, you never know. He's like, am I gonna eat ice cream, hit the nuke button, put sanctions? Go in a hot tub. Who really knows? I almost got nervous. I was like, sheesh. I'm like, geez, dude, calm down, bro. But I get it. I guess that's, everybody's got to work with what they got. And since he's got that like geriatric, roll him up to the stage sort of vibe, I guess that's kind of works for him. So my first reaction, I'm gonna go through the whole speech, just kind of break it down. My first reaction is this. There were so many Ukrainian flags there, right? I counted, I think, 8 Ukrainian flags, 1 Ukrainian pin. A couple people had like Ukrainian stickers. I don't think I saw a single American flag until Biden stood on the side, and then the American flags behind him. Where I'm like, listen, I understand. Like people like Israel, people like Ukraine, some people I'm sure like Italy, some people like Canada, but it's the American State of the Union. To me, that was kind of creepy. I can't stand that stuff. It's like, a week ago, nobody cares about Ukraine. I'm not saying they're not important. I'm just saying now the entire Congress is just like shilling Ukrainian flag. We're American. I'm sorry. I don't want to see a Russian flag, Ukrainian flag, Canadian flag. Like that was the main theme. I felt like he walks out, everybody's got Ukrainian flags. I'm like, here we go again. We can't even have one day as an American citizen for our own damn country. He mentioned COVID for a second, and then he just got right into Vladimir Putin. And like I said, it kind of had a super geriatric vibe to it. They brought a Ukrainian ambassador. There was some sort of Ukrainian ambassador there, and he's like, look at the Ukrainian lady. And everyone's like, yay, Ukrainian lady. And it's like, yeah. And then, like I said, he started like really getting angry. I think I wrote a note. He said at one part, he said like, no more. I mean it. Like, I just find him very funny. Like, he's like, no more. I mean it. And you're like, Grandpa's really frustrated with Putin. Listen, we might not have Zelensky. We might not have a Putin. We might not have a Trump, but we do have an angry, geriatric, semi-senile, semi-cognizant man there. And that might even be scarier because you just don't know what he's going to do when he doesn't know what he's going to do. So I felt like, once again, I don't like to compliment Joe Biden because I think he's not honest. I'm going to get into that here, but I think he found his zone, honestly. Like it's when he yells at me, I don't like it. It's like, if you don't get a vaccine, die. Or like, I'm not saying he literally said that, but I'm, like metaphorically, it's just like he's screaming at me and I'm like, but when you scream at a foreign country, now I think you're starting to find your zone. Just stop treating us like dirt. This is sad, but it's like 10 years ago, they do all this crazy stuff overseas. It's like, as long as you don't treat Americans like crap, most people don't even know what you're doing. Afghanistan, Syria, Yemen, like people have no idea. I'm not saying that's funny because it's not, but low key, it's just kind of true. It's like, yeah, let's fight bin Laden or something. Like the second you start treating us like bin Laden, that's when it gets a little weird. You know what I'm saying? Like you're screaming at us like through the TV. I'm like, why are you yelling at me? What did I do? I just want to work out and not, suck down Pfizer products for the rest of my life or whatever. But, yelling at Putin like that, It's kind of a vibe. But still, he started saying the word ruble and he messed it up. It was pretty funny. He's like, ruble. Like, I don't know what it is about Biden, but when he like slurs his speech, it's just so funny. I have a few other ones. So the more serious stuff, let's get to that. He claims that they were going to start seizing yachts and resorts from Russian oligarchs. And then he said he was going to cut off Russian flights. So that's a pretty big deal. I mean, cutting off flights from Russia to America, I think that's what he said. Once again, sometimes he'd say things and I'm like, did I hear it wrong? Did he say it wrong? It's kind of hard with Biden. At one part, I think he was like, you don't want to be poor. And I was like, for sure. I definitely don't want to be poor. But but I was like, but it sounded like he said like you do want to be poor. And I'm like, wait, we do? Like, but I was like, did I hear that wrong or did he say that wrong? It's almost like, you're like under the influence of alcohol. I'm not drunk. I'm just saying like it feels that way when you're listening to him speak because you're like, did I hear that wrong? Did you say that wrong? But I think he said he's going to cut off Russian flights and, go after Russian oligarchs. What does that mean, though? I'm not, it's one thing to wage a war with the government, but what are you just going to start like arresting Russian rich people? That sounds kind of creepy, like, oh, we're at war with, this country. It's like, okay. And now we're going to go after anyone from that country. It's like, I don't know. Hopefully you choose the right people or something. Good luck with that. He talked about our forces not going to Ukraine, which is nice. I think everybody was worried that we were going to send troops. And I saw a bunch of people like, I don't want to get drafted in the military. So not that that was going to happen, but he says we're not going to Ukraine. Our forces, we're only going to protect NATO, countries like Poland. If they get invaded or something, we'll protect them, but we're not going to send troops there. We're just going to economically try to destroy Russia, I guess. That's kind of the thing they're doing. One part that was funny, and then I want to get to a quick break, but he was trying to say, I think like pound for pound, the Ukrainian people are proud, but it's Joe Biden. So you could see how that's going to trouble Joe. It's like pound for pound, the Ukrainian people are proud. I mean, that's kind of like a Shelley sells seashells by the seashore. That's, for Biden, that's like, winning like America's top warrior or something. It's a tough feat. So he was like a pound of the Ukrainian people, a pound of proud, pound for pound. I'm like, bro, it's just like, it's so cringe when he tries to say something cool and he just messes it up, but it is really funny. I wish I had the clips here because I wrote a little note. He was talking about we're going to be okay and more unity. So, they're getting off this COVID narrative. I guess they're done like threatening everybody, like you're going to die. We hate you. Go die. Like Howard Stern type vibes. He's like, if you don't get a COVID, hospital, you lose your job. I guess they're over that now. I don't know. He's like, yeah, we're going to come together over Ukraine. And he didn't say this. This is me saying this. He's like, this is the only topic Occupy Democrats, Dan Crenshaw, George Soros, Donald Trump, like left and right, people you like, everybody agrees on this. What a convenient narrative for Joe, who was dividing the country for a year and a half. Now he's like, that was, I guess that's the old Joe. Now we got this war on Putin that we can all agree on, and we're just going to get along. And I'm going to get to other things he said later. I think he was like, stop hating your neighbor for disagreeing with you on COVID. And it's like, dude, you're the same guy. I mean, I watched his speech. I don't know if it was 3 or 4 months ago. I did a response to it. It was the darkest, most disgusting thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to lie. Was this the worst speech I've ever heard Biden do? Of course not. He was pretending to be pro-America, like bring us together. But that speech I heard a couple months ago, I mean, I felt like he wanted everyone to die that didn't listen to him. It was pretty dark. It was really disgusting. And now it's just like that never happened. He's like, yeah, I mean, don't hate your neighbor. It's like, did you watch your speech from like a couple months ago? Because I'm pretty sure it was filled with like hate and darkness. Real quick, I just want to say something. And I know this might cause a frenzy to my site, but the hats are up. I have 7 Dream Rare hats, but they're black hats. Everyone's like, why don't you have black hats? They're not in. 7. I literally only have 7. I'm not kidding. This isn't a marketing tactic. Like, oh, I really have 100. There's 7. So whoever buys them tonight, they're done. There's pink hats. There's like 98. If you get a pink hat, 2 of them already sold. You can get a pink hat. This is my shirt real quick. I want to show y'all here. Let me see. Here and here. It says freedom over tyranny. I designed it myself. Okay. It's got an American flag. It's got my little Dream Rare logo. If you want that, we got that made in the USA. It's all made in the USA. Check out the shop. There's only 7 black hats. There's like 98 pink hats. I have the white hats, quite a few of them. The shirts, I think we have like 100 or 200. I have a Dream Rare shirt, but especially the black hats. I told people a lot, if you want a black hat, it's probably already sold out, but maybe not. I don't know. There's 7 of them, 6, 5. I'm not really sure. I'm not going to check. I want to get back to my reporting, but I wanted to say that because it's going to be a frenzy out there. All right, let's get back to his speech. So let's see what else. That's the first page. Let's throw that aside. Someone got booed here. He got booed. I don't know who was booing him, probably Republicans, but he was talking about the American Rescue Plan. And I guess he took a jab at like Trump and Republicans saying, we had the real plan, not those Republicans. We helped the working class. They only helped the 1%. And it's cringy all the way around because like Republicans spend trillions of dollars, Biden spends trillions of dollars, and then they have this like money off of like, they all are just taking our money and wasting and mismanaging it. And it's like, my $1 trillion bill was better than yours. It's like, boo. But those Republicans booing also were spending too much money. So I don't know. It's like, Congress is so cringy to me. It's like, yeah, we spend 6 trillion better than you. It's like, how about you both just stop doing that? I would boo. I'll boo you until you stop taking that, but whatever. Nancy was in the background. I don't know if anybody watched. If not, she's so creepy. I don't really know what's going on with Nancy Pelosi, but she's like, when she smiles, it's not like, oh, she's happy. Like that's a normal human emotion. It's like, she just looks like this devious, like, yeah, like that's the vibe to. She's like smiling in the background, like she's like drinking. I'm not gonna say that because then they're gonna fact check me. But anyway, it's like I don't know. Maybe she should put a mask back on. Maybe I am pro mask. Maybe I'm gonna flip now that they're like, yo, you don't need a mask. I'm gonna flip sides with them. I'll be like, actually, you know what? I think Nancy Pelosi should wear a mask because her devious, like, little like sneaky smile is kind of creeping me out. Then they started talking about infrastructure, climate change, environmental justice. That's a word that they're probably going to throw around over the next couple. Environmental justice. You're a racist, sexist, xenophobe if you don't want gas to go away. You're a racist, sexist, xenophobe if you don't want us to control all the cars now. But I don't know. He talked about building in America, and then he pretty much just did a Trump impression for a while. Like, I have to give it to him. It's funny. And I was thinking this. I'll get back to it, but this is like an overarching theme. You had so many times he was like appealing to the Republicans or appealing to Democrats, right? He's trying to bring everyone together, but it's like he sounds like Trump for 10 minutes, like America, build in America, American steel. The Rust Belt shouldn't be rusty anymore. Let's get the rust off. Like, it's like he's doing his Trump thing. I'm like, oh, you like America now? That's dope. I do too. Sweet. But like, and then he does like the progressive thing. And then he did a don't defund the police, defend the police or something like that. And I'm thinking in my head, like, you don't even realize these progressive, like liberal socialist type people, you could say 20 things that they like he did the whole time. You say one thing like defend the police, not defund the police. I can almost guarantee that they're all like, no, you're not far left enough. It's the same thing with like, you give people money, you praise them, you make one joke, like in a comedy set, they want to destroy your whole life. So it's the right wing tends to be, in my opinion, an easier group to please because they're looking for things like facts, like, they're like, everybody's so corrupt. Can you just be like slightly less corrupt? And these far left wingers, they want everything all the time. Like, in my opinion, right wingers are too nice. It's like they settle for somebody that betrays them because it's like they betrayed them a little left. These far lefters, you give them 9 out of 10 things. You say one thing like, hey, I like the police. I guarantee he just lost every Bernie vote. I was just laughing at that. I'm like, you tried so hard. And then, you said that they're on Twitter like, oh, no. He likes the police too. He's just a neocon. But he talked about China. I mean, like I said, I agree with a lot of what he said. I just don't trust him at all. I don't know. It's like, now you're Donald Trump or something. He's like, we need American steel, American buildings, build in America, made America, America. I'm like, do you mean this? Like, yeah, sure. I have a website, usaproductsonly.com. I want to build in America, but do you really want to do this? And there's something that Biden was doing. I'm not saying all politicians don't do this, but every time he talked about something, he brought up like a bill or an act. He's like, we need, this is an example. This isn't true. I have the real ones, but it's like, we want to save the schools, do the Save the Schools Act. We want to save the country, do the Save the Country Act. Example, not true, but you get what I'm saying? Everything came to like a fund me, give me money, where it's like, do you really want to do this stuff? Or are you trying to like loop us into this bill that doesn't actually do what you're claiming to do? And that's something that I find that both sides fall for. But I do really think that, especially at least in modern history, Democrats seem to fall for that super hard. It's like the vote fair bill. And then everybody's on Twitter crying like, if you don't fund this bill, you want to take away my vote. I'm like, did you even read the bill? Do you know what it really even said? Just because they say they're doing something doesn't mean that's what the bill says. The CARES Act, do you think it says, we care about you, and it's a one-line bill? It's like a freaking, I don't even know how many pages, excuse my language, but I don't know. It's like it's giving money all over the world. Like you've never even read it. So people fall for that so easy. It's like, yeah, we're fighting the bad guys and sign my bill. Give the government $1 trillion. And they're like, okay. He really railed against opioids, which was cool. And then he was talking about cutting cost of prescription drugs. And this is kind of my pet peeve because I agree. I think big pharma is corrupt, but like left wingers, and I'm not trying to just rag on left wingers because some right wingers too, but like they're like, we need to lower the drug prices and stick it to big pharma. And it's like, sure, yeah, that sounds great to me. But you guys fell for the biggest big pharma scheme in modern history. I mean, you guys like literally are like, yeah, there's a really funny skit on YouTube. Ryan Long, he's my friend. He made a skit called like with a liberal talking about Pfizer. Maybe I'll play a clip of it because it's super funny. He's just like, I'm a left winger. I hate big pharma, just not Pfizer. That's my team. I hate like. I'll play a clip of it because it's really funny. But that's kind of how it is. Like, it doesn't matter if you lower drug prices. If you literally shut the country down for 2 years and turn us into like a medical slave state, cutting insulin prices is really important. But like, you blew it on everything else. Like, if you lower other like Tylenol, not saying they're doing that, but just a little bit. Hold on, I'm gonna play this little skit real quick. I know you're not gonna be able to see it, but you will be able to hear it. Let me see, Ryan Long Pfizer. I'm just gonna play it for like 30 seconds, and this is kind of like a mockery of like how left wingers are. Like, we're so against big pharma, just not Pfizer.
Dustin, and I hate big
Hold
pharma.
on,
My name is Dustin, and I hate big pharmaceutical companies, except for Pfizer. I did go to Occupy Wall Street. Now I'm a little more concerned with occupying a space in my tattoo sleeve with my new Pfizer tat. Pfizer? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I watched the Martin Shkreli doc and it pissed me off what he did raising those prices. What an ethical company does is take money from the government to make the product, have the government force people to buy the product, get the government to pay for your commercials, then print money to subsidize it. Yeah.
I'm not going to play the whole thing, but that's the whole vibe. It's like, we're super against big pharma. We just missed the whole like Pfizer, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson 2-year like multi-billion-dollar rollout where they took away all our freedom. Like, but yeah, we'll lower like a few drug prices or something. It's like, I appreciate it, but I think you're missing the big picture. I guess he claimed that no one earning under $400,000 will pay additional taxes, and everyone went crazy. I wonder if that's true. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think Joe Biden will stick to that and only lower taxes under 400,000? I don't know, but I guess this is where this is annoying to me as somebody that for the first time in my life after working hard is starting to do well. I hired my first employee. I'm trying to build a business. Once you become a business of a certain extent, like 400,000 for a business that's paying multiple people is not that huge for a business and for a person. So I think, a lot of the big wigs can afford that, but the mom and pop shops, the restaurants, etc. I understand you want to pay people a living wage and a good wage, but I think it's the big businesses that can afford to do pretty much anything. And it's the smaller businesses that always get strong armed. Like, you have to do this now. Maybe you only want one employee, and maybe you're such a small business that you can't really pay someone. So you're paying like, an intern or somebody that's younger that just wants the experience. I don't know that I agree as much as I want wages to be raised. I don't think the way to do it is have government strong arming people. And I don't know that I trust him that he's going to lower everybody or not lower everybody's taxes, or rather not raise everybody's taxes. We'll see if he does that. When he said that, though, I thought it was funny. Elizabeth Warren jumped up. I always kind of compare her, and I'm not trying to be rude, just funny. She reminds me of like a pigeon. If you've ever been to like an outdoor Chick-fil-A, for some reason, they always have pigeons around them. And, Elizabeth Warren reminds me of them. They're always just like pecking, trying to steal your food. She's always pecking, trying to steal your money. And as soon as Joe Biden said, like, we're going to stick it to these corporations and make them pay more, I felt like the camera went to her and she's like, and she's like, and like, she's got the whole, like, she like looked like happy, but angry. I don't know. It's like, she's like, yeah. I'm like, I don't have any chicken nuggets left, Elizabeth Warren. I ate them all. Go buy your own. You're a human. You're not a pigeon. You're a real woman. You can afford, come on. How much money are you taking from lobbyists? You're not, how much are you getting from Congress? You can get your own chicken nuggets. Get grilled chicken, so they don't cook them in the canola oil. They probably still do. I don't know. Anyway, I guess that's the end of that. I'll just throw this to the side. He was talking about doing some sort of watchdog, chief prosecutor for the pandemic fraud by the Justice Department. See, I know he's trying to like get more IRS customers, so everything he says sounds like good if you just don't pay attention to what he actually does, where it's like, oh, we're gonna prosecute fraud with the pandemic. For instance, I don't know if it was pandemic fraud, but in California, they caught people around Los Angeles. They were doing like billions of dollars of fraud. People were coming in all over the state to scam California because the politicians and people who run the state are incompetent. And then they caught them, right? That's good. It's like you don't want somebody defrauding the state or the government or the country, whoever. But I just don't know if that's all he's doing. Like, are you really doing a chief prosecutor for pandemic fraud, or are you doing more? Like I saw his IRS plan and it's creepy. It's like, I don't know. It's like creating like tens of thousands. It's like, I'm all for creating jobs, but I don't know that I want more IRS employees, like just scanning everyone's everything all the time. So it sounds good if he just does what he said he did, but I don't think that's what he's going to do. We'll see. He had a good line there. He said, capitalism without competition is exploitation. It's true. I mean, capitalism without competition is not capitalism. Capitalism without competition is exploitation. I would consider it at a certain point not even capitalism, crony capitalism, big government tyranny, or just like, corporations running rampant and being immoral. But I don't know, saying that, what does that mean? Like, yeah, I'm a capitalist, sort of. It's like, okay, then let's get more competition. I don't know if shutting down businesses and strong arming them with pandemic restrictions for 2 years as Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk make more money and Bill Gates, I don't know if that was really like competition. I'm pretty sure Target didn't have very much competition because you shut down everyone's businesses. That's not Biden, but Democrats and Republicans, it's like, I don't know, just sounded blank to me. He started saying, build a better America. I think somebody in his camp told him build back better is very like Orwellian, and everybody thinks it's like a creepy World Economic Forum statement or something. So I feel like somebody, his speechwriter, a friend of his that's not a yes man, is like, hey, Biden, maybe just drop the build back better thing. Cause everybody's like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. I get what you're saying, but he didn't say that. He kept saying, build a better America, build a better America. Definitely better phrasing. He mentioned something about COVID. I guess he went into this whole thing about COVID no longer needs to control our lives. He mentioned that severe cases, hospitalizations were down to its lowest point since last July. What's in July? Let me think of that. Why would cases be lower in July? Oh, it's summer. Oh, that's interesting. When were the cases the highest? Oh, in winter. How about the last year? When was the spike? When was the second biggest spike besides this last? Oh, it was last winter. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I deserve a Nobel Peace Prize, not because I'm that smart, but everybody's apparently either that dumb or lying. But maybe there's some sort of correlation there. Like summer, not that many hospitalizations, winter, more hospitalizations. Are we going to play this game? I really pray that people wake up because they're like, there might be a new variant. I mean, there's probably going to be a new variant at the end of the year. There's probably going to be a spike in cases, even if they don't find a new variant at the end of the year. Biden, Democrats, and some Republicans are going to act like it's not a seasonal thing. If you look at flu from 40s to now, it's always like, yeah, there's a big spike. It's not always the same. The flu is not the exact. Some years it's really crazy. We have terrible flu seasons. Sometimes we have smaller ones. COVID is very similar. If it's I'm not saying it's a flu, but I guess I could say that now because Bill Gates literally said it. They censored people for 2 years for saying, and then Bill Gates like, we got to treat it like the flu. It's like, how convenient for you just to copy and paste everything everyone else said 2 years ago and act like it's the new thing. But I'm just saying seasonally, I think that respiratory illnesses seem to affect people in the winter for multiple reasons more. So, I am really annoyed at the fact that they keep saying, well, July was good. This winter was bad. Who knows what the future holds? If hospitalizations go up, I know Gavin Newsom saying like, well, I might have to do something. Why would hospitalizations go down? Why would they go down? Children are fatter than they used to be because you took away their sports and school. Adults have been getting fatter over time than they were 30, 40 years ago. People are less healthy. I mean, a lot of people are mentally suffering because you're psychologically abusing them. I believe that forced masking, because of the ears and even, some ways it rubs against the skin, I think it's physically abusive. I think it's psychologically, mentally abusive. I mean, why wouldn't hospitalizations go down? Like you're treating everybody like dirt. You've treated everyone like dirt for 2 years. Now you're backing off it and being like, but if hospitals, I mean, the damage that you did with the obesity in children, that's going to take decades to reverse, if that. I mean, really, it would just take a couple weeks if that kid just got on a treadmill or ran around a track or something. But, he's probably on TikTok, not watching my video. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. But I'm not making a joke of it. I'm just saying I think obesity in children or adults is serious. You're more at risk for COVID. You're more at risk for a lot of things. We need to make working out cool. But like with his speech and even like with Trump's Operation Warp Speed, working out is not really, a big cash cow for Pfizer. So he mentioned, I'm going to get to it later, a pill. The Pfizer pill's here, folks. Yeah, I've been waiting so long for Pfizer's pill. Thank goodness. I mean, monoclonal antibodies out the window. Pfizer pill, let's go, boys and girls. Apparently, if you get tested with the new Biden thing, you get tested, you have COVID, they give you a Pfizer pill for free. Oh my God, this is free. Oh my goodness, it's crazy. I love my government. They just give me free Pfizer pills and Pfizer shots. It's all free. This is, oh my gosh. Can we give an award to Pfizer? They must make they must be losing money because everything's free. Oh my gosh, wait, they just sold like the most record high product, tens of billions of dollars. Wait, how are they making money if there's such great people giving it to us? Oh, it's not free. Oh, it's coming from taxpayer money. Oh, they're buying it against our will, shoving it down our throats and giving Albert Bourla money. Oh, that kind of sucks. But yeah, we're going to fight prices of drugs or something. Everyone's like, Biden's sticking it to big pharma. Go to opensecrets.org and look how much money he took from big pharma donations in 2020. Donald Trump was number 2 with like 2.5 million. Biden was like 3 times as many as him. The guy is the biggest pharma puppet ever. It's like, yeah. He mentioned one thing too. This is how he's sneaky. He was talking about letting Medicare dictate the prices of medicine. I had a Biden moment. Sorry, I'm embarrassing myself. I'm pulling a Biden straight in front of my own live stream audience. But it's like people are like, yeah, let's let the government dictate the prices of pharmacy prices. It's like, let's not do that. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's something weird going on in America that our prices are so much higher. I don't know what it is. I just don't know that I trust the government to do that. But at this point, the government and big pharma is like the same thing as like, white and off-white. They're like the same thing. They sit next to each other. You can't really tell the difference. They barely have their own identity. So I guess with the pharmacy industry and government, at this point, I'm not going to cry about it because they've already proved that they are pretty tight-knit anyway. He was talking about taking on mental health, and I think that was a nice thought, I guess. It's like, oh man, the pandemic really hurt a lot of children mentally, and we need to help them and give schools money. And people cheer. Of course, Democrats are cheering. I'm like, the people are suffering the most because the government hurt them. It's not all Biden's fault or anything, but like Democrats, Republicans, governors, I mean, teachers unions, you guys hurt children for years. And now it's like you're relinquishing. It's like Stockholm syndrome. It's like this, the prison master, like finally letting you free. And you're like outside and he's like, I'm your best friend. Give me more money. And they're like, it's the best way to stop the mental, health crisis in the kids is to stop treating them like dirt. I mean, that would help a lot, but whatever. He was talking about holding big tech accountable. Clearly not in the same way that we want to, but he brought that Facebook whistleblower lady. I think her name was something Haugen, talking about them taking our data. I mean, that was a pretty valid point. Talking about children being abused or something, or children being, targeted and online stuff. And, I just don't know if I believe a word he says. Like, yeah, Joe Biden's going to take on Facebook, Google, and Twitter. Oh man. I mean, they should just let him run the whole show. It's like, step aside, Mark Zuckerberg. We got a new CEO in town, Joe Biden, Joseph Biden. I think he should run all the tech companies. I think they should all just retire and let him be the CEO. He'll know what to do. He started talking about veterans, VA. He had some sort of policy to try to help the veterans, which was nice. I don't know. I don't know if I believe Joe Biden, because when Trump talks, he'll pander a little bit like, yeah, I like black people, please don't hate me. I like women. Don't think I'm a misogynist. But for the most part, I feel like it's somewhat cohesive where Biden was definitely playing this game of like, listen, I'm gonna bring us together. I'm gonna please you and please. I'm pro America. I love America. I love the veterans. I love the police, but I also love like environmental justice and minimum wage. And I feel like I just don't know if anybody's really buying it. I would guess that the audience that's really buying the Joe Biden speech would be like probably like 60 plus, like people that are getting older and watch CNN and that's all they watch all the time because they don't have that much to do and they are like believing him. But like the younger Democrat crowd doesn't like Joe Biden. He's not far left enough. They don't buy his, act of being a progressive. They think he needs to be more progressive, aka more socialist and communist. Republicans certainly don't buy a word he says. Like I could be honest and say, like, listen, as far as like on a Joe Biden scale of speeches, I would give him, this is a Biden scale, by the way, like a 7 or an 8. I mean, it's as good as he can do. I think it's way better than the dark winter speeches he was giving, where he's like telling everybody like they're evil, horrible, terrible, and probably gonna die. Like, I mean, his speeches were bad. Go back and watch some of his COVID speeches. That was some dark stuff. So I would give him like an 8 or a 9 on a Biden scale. On a normal person, like a 5. It's one of his better, I guess, speeches. Like that's the nicest thing I could say. But like the thing is, when Putin talks or Zelensky talks or Biden talks or Trump talks, once I don't trust you, then it just doesn't matter. Like I don't even really trust Trump anymore. So now when he talks, it's like whatever to me. It just sounds like a circus. Like I'm saying the same 5 things on loop and people will cheer for me because they think I'm going to save America. With Biden, it's just like, I don't know. Who are you? You love America? Do I think you really love America? Do I think you're going to bring steel back? And I mean, I guess I hope so, but no, I don't really believe a word you said. You treated me like dirt for a year. You've talked down to me and everybody. And now all of a sudden you're just going to treat everybody amazingly. Like, yeah, I'm not buying it. So I don't think a lot of I would say like 90+% of Republicans are not buying what he says. I would say most progressives and like, average, like, Bernie Sanders type people, they're not buying it. Who is buying it? Nancy Pelosi, she loved it. Kamala Harris, she loved it. I don't know who else was there. AOC's probably like, it's not far enough, but good speech as far as like speeches go. I just don't know if I believe any of it. He was talking about ending cancer too. I thought that was pretty interesting. I mean, he said that I think before he ran, like I'm gonna beat cancer and like defeat cancer, and it's like I hope so. Maybe you could figure out a COVID solution because you guys banged out a COVID vaccine in like less than a year. But with cancer, it's been like, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 years of devastation and you guys can't figure it out. Why can't you do with COVID? Just rush. You should just rush a medication just like you did and, make it illegal pretty much on all social media to talk bad about, watch the efficacy drop and, lie about it and tell everybody else you're allowed to lie, but they're not allowed to tell the truth. And, let the data come out like 2 years later. I think I saw an article today, something about like, efficacy in children's like certain ages of children, like 5 to something, like 12% or so. I don't know. It's like, what's the efficacy of eating an apple if you're 5 years old? Like 12% is the efficacy in that, age bracket for whatever over time. I don't want to misquote it because it's like worded a specific way, but it's like, get that same group of kids and give them an apple every day. I'm wondering if they could beat that 12% because that's a pretty low bar. But, hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully he could beat cancer. It's just not really like, I don't wake up in the morning and be like, I think Joe Biden's going to beat cancer. Why do you think that? Well, he said it. So, I mean, what other choice do I have? I should trust my president, right? Joe Biden's going to defeat cancer. I mean, don't be a conspiracy theorist. He's going to do it. It's it's like, yeah, he's any day now. It's like Trump being the real president. Like a lot of people, they're into the theory that Trump's the shadow president and he's like in a Guantanamo base under submarine, and, Mike Pompeo's giving them codes by loving Israel over America. And, Dan Scavino's posting out story. Like there's people that literally think Trump's still the president. So it's like, that's kind of like the Biden curing cancer. I'm going to be that type of person. Be like, listen, he's going to cure cancer any day now, any second. He's going to pop out. Blinken is going to be on one side, Jen Psaki on another side. He's going to hold his hands and Pfizer's just going to the sky's going to rain Pfizer products and it's going to disappear. And that's what I'm sticking to. And if you disagree with me, you might be working for the Mossad. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. He started talking about guns and saying like ghost guns and, people on the terrorist list shouldn't have guns. And I think that's a good idea. But the problem is like, what is the terrorist list? Are you talking about like terrorists like the guy who came to America and ended up going to a synagogue and you let him in the country or whatever? Or are you talking about like everybody you hate politically? Because if it's like literal terrorists who like have a past of like literally doing something overseas, then yeah, they probably shouldn't own a gun in America. But if you're gonna call like tens of millions of people who like Donald Trump and are Republican a terrorist, then like yeah, you probably shouldn't take the guns then. So I don't know what he means by that. You know, it's like they always use this broad word like we need to take guns from terrorists. I'm like, yeah, but you also talk as if like everybody who thinks that you slur your words is terrorist. So it's also funny. I mean, ask him what he thinks of those guns in Ukraine. Does he want to go to Ukraine? Yo, go to Ukraine, Joe Biden, and make sure they don't have any ghost guns. Are you concerned with ghost guns in Ukraine? Are you concerned with who owns a gun in Ukraine? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure you're all for it over there. They all got Ukraine flags and they don't have American flags. It's so annoying. Could you imagine? Listen, this is the most American thing I have just by default. I mean, it's not much, but like if I'm not wearing this, which I probably shouldn't if I was in Congress, this is not a serious hat to wear. Like, why would I show up to the State of the Union? It's really annoying. Like, you go to these Republican events sometimes, and I'm not being hateful. I'm certainly not hating an entire country or group of people because I know I'm going to get false accusations. But you go to these Republican events and they're waving Israeli flags. You go to the State of the Union, they're waving Ukrainian flags. You can like Ukraine and Israel, but it's like, can you like America for 2 seconds? I don't, it's like, my goodness, like I don't hate Ukraine, but why do I want to go to an American State of the Union and they're all waving Ukrainian flags? Get over yourself. Does Ukraine wave America flags? I want to go to Ukraine State of the Union. Are they all waving America flags at their State of the Union? Probably not. They're probably waving Ukrainian flags because they're not like you know, country psychos. Like you don't need to show me how. It would creep me out if I saw like Israel and their whole Congress is like waving American flags. I'd be like, why are you doing that? Just wave an Israeli flag. Why would you, in Israeli Knesset, which is like their version of the government, you're not allowed to be a dual citizen. You're not allowed to have citizenship of American Israel. They kick you out and they tell you that you have to denounce your American or your Russian citizenship. In America, it's the opposite. Not only are there a bunch of people with dual citizens, but you get called an anti-Semite or a racist or a, Islamophobe or something if you suggest like why do they have multiple citizenships? That's so common in America. In Israel, you're not even allowed to have it. They won't let you do it. So it's like I feel like other countries actually care about themselves. In America, it's like I don't know. Let's just like pick another country next time. Let's what country should we wave flags for next State of the Union? I'm thinking either Tajikistan, if I said that right, maybe Chile. It's way down there, people sleep on it. I don't know, Iraq. Just throw an Iraq flag in there just to throw them off. A Libya flag just to, taunt the people that we destroyed their country or whatever. Let's pick another flag next time because I love the idea of just waving everyone else's flags all the time at American events instead of America. It's like, I don't dislike Ukraine. It's just like, can we actually like our country? 2 years of devastating our economy, 2 years of treating kids like captured prisoners of a foreign country. You can't even wave an American flag at the first America State of the Union. These people are so gross. I hope new people get in Congress. There's one person running for Congress that I like Thomas Massey. I think he's the real deal. Apparently, he said he didn't go to Congress he didn't go to the State of the Union because they were trying to test everybody. And Thomas he's like, I don't want to take a test. Why are you trying to test me? I'm not sick. So I guess that's why he didn't go. But Ian Smith is running for something. I don't know. The guy from New Jersey. I like Ian Smith. I think he's trustworthy on foreign policy. I think he's trustworthy domestically. I don't know him. I've never met him, but judging by what he posts and what he thinks, I like Ian Smith. Like, to me, that's the future of the Republican Party. He's one person, but it's like, if you're not acting like, I'm tired of these, like Kevin McCarthy, the GOP leader of the House, wearing a Ukrainian flag. It's like, bro, get over yourself. Stop, dude. Stop. Isn't that weird to you? I don't know. I'm part Italian. I mean, I like Italian flags, Poland, whatever, but like, I don't know if I serve for the country, like maybe like one time I'll have an Italian flag somewhere on my clothes or something, but I just don't see myself like shoving it down your throat all the time if I work for America. But, I want more politicians like that aren't Kevin McCarthy's or like Operation Warp Speed salesman, somebody that's like, I am a real American. I really believe in something. I really want something. Marjorie Taylor Greene's okay. There's a few winners in Congress, but I'm so tired of like all these Republicans. And, they're like, I don't know, whatever. I'm the Democrats too. I'm just saying. They talked about the Freedom to Vote Act. That's the name of it. He said, we need to pass the Freedom to Vote Act, the John Lewis Act. He's got a name for everything. It's like, I would love to read. I don't feel like doing it now, but what is the Freedom to Vote Act and what is the John Lewis Act? Does anybody think that if you read the Freedom to Vote Act or the John Lewis Act, that it's just going to be like everyone gets to vote regardless of their skin color? That's already a law. Everybody votes already. It's not hard to vote. In fact, it's like too easy to vote. I could go in California and vote without an identification. That's insane. I can't do anything without an identification. I can't check into a hotel without an identification. I can't go on a cruise without an identification. I can't fly without an identification. I can't sign up for healthcare without an identification. I mean, name anything important. I can't do anything. I can't buy or sell or rent a house. You can't do anything without an identification, but I can vote in California without an identification. It's not hard to vote. It's too easy. I shouldn't be able to. I mean, that's crazy. If I know your address, I could pretty much show up and vote for you. They don't check anything. It's like, what's your name? Here's my name. What's your address? Here's my address. Like, okay, yeah, go ahead. I'm like, that's it. I forgot my ID and I was like, I should go back. And I'm like, oh wait, my state's dumb. So I don't need my ID. And it works. So it's like the Freedom to Vote or the John Lewis Act, they're lying to you. I just told you 5 minutes ago. I don't like Republicans that much. I think most of them are phony. It's just, I guess they're the lesser of two evils in my opinion. However, Democrats are lying about this topic for sure. And Republicans are not lying. They're not trying to stop anybody from voting. It's just like, do you want your elections to matter? Or do you just want it to be like, we'll just mail it in for 3 weeks? And it's like, but you can't talk about it or else you're a conspiracy theorist. It's a dumb way to do an election. So I'm going to read those to be fully clear, but I highly doubt they do anything but make it easier and easier to not vote, but to, cheat, in my opinion. I don't know if you could say that. I said it though. He talked about this Bipartisan Equality Act. It's like, I don't know if I could possibly believe it less. Like, it's a Bipartisan Equality Act. What does that legislation say? How was it? 10 pages, 100 pages? Does it say we're all equal, under God? The end. No, it's probably funding these people. And I hope that Democrats are paying attention because this is the whole scheme that they do. All they say, we're going to help you. We love children and women and Black people and Hispanics and, DACA. And it's like, yeah, I feel you. I want good people to stay here and live. But then like what they're telling you and what they're writing, they're funding big government. This organization, $1 million, $1 billion, $1 trillion. I mean, it's like, just stop spending so much money. They waste so much money. They branch out government. You claim to not like government, then you grow it. It's like, read these things or a bare minimum understand if it's called the Freedom to Vote Act, it doesn't just say you can vote. You can already vote. I mean, come on, guys, but whatever. He made a very important, I guess the Bipartisan Equality Act was a call to action to transgender Americans, so I just want to say to transgender Americans, Biden has your back, okay? I mean, does he really? I don't know about that. I'm sure Trump has your back too, but I don't know. He made it very, he's like, I got you. I am progressive. I care about transgenders. And then he went and talked about the police and said something like, I got to find the exact quote, but he said something like, we shouldn't defund the police. We should defend the police. And I'm like, I don't think Biden knows how this works. Like, first of all, does Biden really like love transgender people? Maybe he had a change of heart in his later years. He's like, I love transgenders. I love them. I love watching them, hanging out with them. RuPaul, I can't get enough, or maybe he's just pandering. I don't know. I had something important to say about that, but apparently it wasn't that important if I didn't remember it. I don't know. I already blew it. Oh, about the police thing. With the progressives and the liberals and the left wingers, it's like, you could say you love transgenders and they'll be like, okay, I'm listening. That's cool. And then you say like, don't defund the police. You've already lost them. You've already lost that whole audience. They're not listening anymore. So I think every gain he made by, pandering to transgenders, I think he lost it the second that he said he supports the police. He's playing this weird game of like, I'm left wing and I'm right wing, but he's not really. It's like, is he this pro-America freedom fighter, like to back the blue? Like, I don't know if anyone really believes him, honestly. So I don't, I get that you're trying to bring the country together, right? You're trying to get rid of the hate and the division. I'm both of you at the same time. I love transgenders, but I'll back the blue. I'll keep them in charge, but I'll fund them more. We got to fund them more. I love the veterans, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not the target audience for this speech. Let's just be honest. And at the end of it, he said, we're going to save democracy. He ended it with some sort of like scream. I wrote it somewhere. What did he say? Does anybody remember? I guess, where did I write it? I got 4 things. Oh, he said, thank you. Go get him. I don't know. He was really excited today. He's like, go get him. Who are we going to get? We going to get Putin? We going for a jog? We getting in and out? I'm not sure what he was getting at, but he was like he was happy. He's like, I got through the whole speech. I didn't fall asleep. Go get him. Go get him. Like, where are we going, dude? Where are we going? But I give him credit. He did get through the speech. He spoke for an hour. He only messed up like 10 times. They were only minorly funny. No really, really big ones. Only like really big ones. So, I mean, he deserves the credit. He got through the speech. He didn't take a nap. His excitement, it wasn't like America, we're strong. It was like I got through the speech. I did it. I didn't take a nap. Like, somebody give me an ice cream. I made it. I made it all the way. Mommy's going to be proud of me. And I'm like, for sure. What do you guys think? Let me know what you think. I'm glad, I guess, as my final takeaway, then I'll read some super chats and stuff. I'm glad that they're done abusing everybody under the guise of COVID and health and making people fatter and less and depressed. I'm glad. I don't care if they're lying. I've done all the research I've done. I have 2 years of reporting, thousands of pages of notes, hundreds of videos. So I've said my piece. Okay. I'm not going to cry about it and freak out the whole time. I'm glad they're leaving it, but what's their next? I mean, the Ukraine war or something. And then what? I don't know. Environmental justice. Are we going to dive into the complex issue of transgender abuse in Ukraine, which is not a joke? There's like a full video talking about it. There's like a transgender woman. I'm trying to like say the right thing. I'm not being rude. I'm not trying to get my whole account banned here. Okay. I respect your gender. I just don't know anymore. It's like, you can't even just be like, you're gay. They're like, oh geez, a homophobe's here. I'm like, what? You just said you're gay. I'm like, no, I'm a lesbian. I'm like, oh, you're a lesbian. Like, no, I was a lesbian yesterday. I'm gay again because we're both transgenders and we're women, men. So now we're gay again. And it's like, I'm trying to be nice. It's just hard to figure out what to say. Like, if it's like, you're gay. You're like, no, I'm pansexual. I like everything. I'm like, oh, so you're bisexual? Like, pansexual, pan. And I'm like, okay, dude, like, get over yourself. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's at a certain point, they're just reaching. Like, if you think you like everything, just say you're bisexual. That's what they did 10 years ago. You got to be like, no, I'm a femdami, origami, left wing, right wing. I'm really like a bipartisan, progressive, socialist, communist, capitalist. It's all crony, but I got to get my Starbucks, and I'm trisexual, and I like 3 different genders, but I also am interested in the 5th one. I'm skipping over the 4th because the 4th is rooted in, tyranny. I mean, July 4th, the neo-Nazi day where the Americans celebrate their independence. So I skip over the 4. I'm attracted to 5. I'm a Cinco gender. We don't use the American phrase. We go with Cinco because Cinco is Hispanic. We love the Mexicans. We love the, Guatemalans. We love the Venezuelans. And I am a pan-tran, non-binary, binary. So that, and it's like, okay, got you. Let me write that down so I don't. There's like literally TikToks like this. I don't get them in my feed, but I see Elijah Schaefer saying them sometimes. I'm like, I'm taking notes. It's like, I got like 7 pages of notes just to say hi to this person. At a certain point, then I just don't want to be friends with you. It's like, I'm not mad at who you are. I'm not mad at your sexuality. I'm not mad at your gender. You're just annoying. It's too much. I just took 4 pages of notes just to say hi to you, and you're still going to get upset. At a certain point, Zoom calls are good for you. Maybe that's more your speed until you get back to where we need to be. But, there is a real video in Ukraine of like a transgender in Ukraine saying like it's really tough for me to leave the country. You know, I'm being discriminated against. And I think I might do a video about it tomorrow because I agree. I actually fully agree. I think the number one problem in Ukraine is transgender rights. And I want to see Zelensky, talk about them because, oh, war, oh, Snake Island, oh, goes to Kyiv. He killed 1,000 troops or something. And, it's, I think, no. Think about the transgender, Zelensky. You're really dropping the ball, bro. All right, let me know what you think. I'll read the super chats, the stars. Let's get to the stars real quick. Top star senders. Randy said Biden is a QUEEF. I don't want to say that, Randy. Thank you for the stars. Biden is a queen, but replace the N with an F. Randy said it, not me. Thank you, Randy, for the super chat, but calm down. I'm just kidding. He said he's embarrassing, awkward, and no one wants him to EF and exist. I mean, I want him to exist. I just want him to watch Wheel of Fortune and Drew Carey on Price is Right like everybody else. He shouldn't be up there. But Cindy said, did you hear the Mike Savage podcast about Soros-Ukraine connection and how Putin wants to create a holy Russia? I have not, Cindy. I've heard of Mike Savage, but I don't know much about that. I will, I guess, check it out, but I've heard the name. Thank you, Lana. Thank you, Vernita. Someone said, State of the Union brought to you by Pfizer, powered by Intel. That is very true. They definitely did. That's a funny one. They definitely did mention Intel and the Pfizer pill. That was my takeaway. It's like the best way to stop this is vaccines and Pfizer pills. Man, Pfizer must just be the greatest company ever. It's like they got pills, vaccine. I call America, I don't know, the United States a Pfizerstan. We're under Pfizeria law. It's like Sharia law, except Muslims actually believe in God. In America, we believe in Dr. Fauci, evolving genders, exponential growth in gender format and Pfizer shots. It's like, I don't know. I'm not saying I'd rather be under Sharia law, but if you gave me the option, it's like, would you rather be under Pfizeria law or Sharia law? I'd be like, I don't know. Peace be with you. I would just leave it at that. But I'm not Muslim, but respect to my Muslim brothers and sisters. I don't know that Pfizeria law is better, but I don't know. I don't run the country. Real quick, I just want to show y'all, and then I'm gonna read some comments. Let me make sure it's right. All right, that's Freedom Over Tyranny. These are the new shirts. Check them out. The black hats. There's 7. I don't know. I'm actually gonna check now, real quick. Don't get mad at me, but I want to see if there's any left or not because apparently. Not apparently, there were only 7. I want to see if anybody bought them while I was saying. If not, it's all good. I'm not going to cry. It's just like, geez, that was an underwhelming moment. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure they're gone. Oh, yeah. 7 black hats. They're sold out. Okay. Let's see. We got some. Yeah, sold out. Well, thank you to everybody who bought the 7 black hats. I was thinking about like gouging the price really hard, but then I felt bad because I was like, man, these are very valuable. It's like, I probably could sell them for like $99, but that would be a scummy move. I just did $39.99. And I'm going to send out an email tomorrow. Thank you guys for the pink ones. I think there's like 98. And we've been trying for over a year to find the quality. My guy told me, he called me and he's like, dude, there's 7 black hats made in the USA from our people. I'm like, 7? He's like, should I get them? I'm like, yeah, get them. I'm like, we'll sell 7. I don't know. Pink hats. I think we got 98 or 101 or something. That's all we could find. We found beanies. I'm trying to get the beanies back. They've been sold out for all of winter, so I didn't even capitalize on that. But the reason they're sold out is I don't buy it in China, made in the USA. If you get my long sleeves, it literally says on it, made in the USA, stitched in the USA, cotton picked in the USA. Like it has like a list of 7 things where I'm trying to do it big, and I'm always trying to get better stuff, better quality. But thank you to everybody who got the black hat. I hope you enjoy it. And they're in pre-sale. So the pre-sale's almost over. I want to say it's like a week left or something, and you'll get them probably next week or the week after. But that's what it is. They're being manufactured now in the United States. I mean, oh no, you caught me. They're in Taiwan. Oh no, close it down. Shut the stream. No, I'm just kidding. They're made in the USA. Where? I want to say California, but also sometimes they're warehoused in Nevada. But enough about me. How are you guys doing? Someone said, I hope you get more black hats. There's no black yarn. My guy told me that there's not even like black yarn in China. I wouldn't use it, but he's like, it's so rare. I don't know. Probably something to do with everybody shutting down and giving Pfizer all their money. It's like, here's a good idea. Let's close down the entire world for a year and give Pfizer all your money. It's like, Let's not do that. How about let's run that back? Let's rewind time and never do that again. It's like Pfizer pills. Of course, we're going to get Pfizer. You're going to throw pills at me for the rest of my life. I mean, you gave them so much freaking money and power. Yeah, of course they have pills, So I don't know. Maybe the black hats are gone because they shut down the whole world and just funneled all the money to vaccine industry, but whatever. Oh, yeah. He also said in his speech that gun manufacturers need to be held accountable because they're the only industry in America that have no liability. Isn't that right? I thought of another industry that doesn't have liability. Psst, the Pfizer vaccine and the Moderna vaccine under the PrEP Act, they don't have any liability as well, but Joe Biden won't mention that. And there's going to be no fact check around that, or they're going to fact check in a circle. They did the Snake Island fact check, and they didn't even say true or false. They just did a fact check and just left it at that. It's like they're always so sneaky with how they mostly false, half true, nothing. There's such sneaks over there. But the gun manufacturer thing is interesting because I don't want people to die, obviously, but can you sue Toyota if somebody runs over somebody in a Toyota? It's like at what point, can you sue a knife manufacturer if somebody gets stabbed in London with a knife? I don't think so. I don't think you should be able to. I mean, if it's a knife used for cutting stuff and someone uses it to cut somebody else, I don't think you should be able to sue, kitchenware for doing that. So this idea that we should be able to sue gun manufacturers, hold the person accountable. I mean, if the gun malfunctioned or something, I don't know if it went crazy on its own, then yeah, maybe Remington should get sued. But if someone just used it to do that, it doesn't work that way. I mean, that's a way to take away the Second Amendment. It's not just a right-wing talking point or somebody that likes guns too much. That's what they're going to do. If you could sue a gun manufacturer for somebody using that, it's over. So, I mean, that was a sneaky little Biden move, but we see through it. I want to read this real quick. Someone talked about grandmas. We love grandmas here, especially on Facebook. That's where we got the most grandmas. So someone said, my grandmother laughed at Trump and Biden for being her age in office as if it's a joke in her mind to give older people such power when they can't be left alone in the shower. Laughing emoji. I agree. I mean, I love elderly people. I mean, the older, the better. Literally, if you're 130, you think it's even possible for me to hate you? If you're 130, I'm like, I like you. You could be the worst 100-year-old ever. You could literally be terrible. And I'm like, you're so old. I like you. I'm impressed you're alive. You deserve credit, even if you're mean to me. So we love older people. But yeah, at a certain age, I mean, you just don't do things like run the breath. You retire, you step down, you put somebody younger in charge. I mean, this happens in every industry ever. In sports, your 40s and by 50s, you're usually done. Why would an 80-year-old be running the presidency? And people think I'm kidding. I get that Trump is better than Biden. I will sadly, and I'm ashamed to admit this because I really just don't even like him, but I'll vote for Trump over Biden because I think there's going to be benefits to having Republicans in power and Supreme Court justices, et cetera. But the idea that Trump is going to run when he's literally older than he's going to be 80 in office. Biden's 8. It's too much. It's too old. It's too old. 70, fine. 73, sure. Someone said dope shirt. I just want to show y'all on Facebook real quick. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to pull it up that much. Embarrassing. Dang, I should have worked out and really flexed harder, but you get it. Yeah, it's Jesus surfing, but I don't know. I feel like it's too old. It just is. I mean, if you're really the man or something, but Biden sounds geriatric. I don't like Biden. I don't trust Biden. I think he's a sneaky snake. I liked when he was yelling at Putin, and I don't even fully agree with what he was saying, but he's yelling it just reminded me of an angry grandpa. You just, hey, here's your meatloaf. I didn't ask for meatloaf. I had meatloaf yesterday. That's the vibe that Biden had. It's kind of scary. It was the best vibe I've ever seen for him. As someone who can't stand him, I despise him. I'm that's a vibe. The angry, I already ate meatloaf 3 times this week, and you're going to come back with no ketchup. And I'm why would you put ketchup on meatloaf? But in general, that was his whole, it's geriatric. It's geriatric. His whole speech is geriatric. When he gets angry, it's geriatric. Go get him, kids. It's dude, go to sleep. Go take a nap. You're talking too much. Why? And I don't want people to be mad at me, but you listen to Trump now, and he sounds geriatric. Does he sound as geriatric as Biden? Of course not. I mean, Joe Biden is a clown. But does Trump sound like Trump in 2018 or 2019 or even 2020? He doesn't. Trump sounds geriatric too. I was listening to a speech like, I'm going to run for office. And everyone's like, yeah, Trump. And I'm like, bro, he's too old. He's too old. Let me play a clip of Trump. Tell me he doesn't start to sound geriatric too. But Anomaly, what are we going to do? Vote for Biden? No, I'm just saying, like, it's like me being like, oh, I should be in the NBA because I could beat Joe Biden in basketball. It's like, yeah, I could crush Joe Biden in basketball, but that doesn't mean that I should be somewhere. It just means I'm below average, which is not good, 2024 run. Let me listen to the speech. I mean, obviously better than Biden, obviously not as bad, obviously has more, gas left in the tank, but a little geriatric. I don't know. Let me find the clip. Trump, he's back in 2024. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Benny Johnson, of course. Donald Trump essentially confirms that he's planning to run for 2024. Let's listen to his speech. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the wrong one. Trump sounds amazing, but let's hear.
They're going to find out the hard way starting on
geriatric. I was right. I mean, come on. Stop lying to yourself. You think this sounds like, I'm going to play it again. He sounds like I'm an old man and I'm yelling on stage and everyone's like, yeah, MAGA, MAGA. And I'm like, dude, he's 80. Let DeSantis take it. Anybody. I mean, really, you should let like Thomas Massey take it. But, if you're going to go the Trump route, listen, he sounds geriatric.
They're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th. And then again, even more so on November 2024, they will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again.
We'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again. He sounds geriatric. I'm sorry. I mean, is he better than Biden? Of course. Should he be running for president? No, I'm sorry. He shouldn't. But this is what this is America. Just two corrupt 80-year-olds, one of them better, yelling at each other. I mean, I don't know. They're like, Trump, what do you think of the mandates? He's like, I did it. I saved the world with the Spanish flu, 100 million lives. Biden fell downstairs. I mean, it's slow Biden. And you're like, that wasn't the question, Trump. We get it. You sold vaccines. You saved 100. What do you think about the mandates? And like, he literally just goes on like a grandpa rant. I like grandpas. This is not an anti-grandpa rant. It's a pro-grandpa rant. I mean, rest in peace, my grandfather. I miss when my grandfather used to tell me the same story over and over. He used to, my pops does that too. And I say, you told me that. And my dad said, it's true. He said, you're going to miss one day when I can't tell you the same story over and over. Even if I told you 3 times, I'm like, it's so true. It almost made me cry. I was like, dang, that's deep. But like my grandpa is like the story. That's like Trump, the same story. You know what I'm saying? Like I like Trump, but it's like, not really. It's like I've heard that story. If it was like a story of you playing baseball in World War II, that's cool. If it's a story of you pretending to save 100 million lives by giving Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson government subsidies, then it's actually not cool. So it's like Trump's telling the same story over and over again, and it's just not a cool story. But whatever. I think it's time for like DeSantis, and I don't even fully trust him, but at least he's in his 40s. Yeah, I'll know where he stands. Trump's better than Biden. I think he deserves credit for being more honest than anybody in my lifetime. However, I mean, 80. It's like, come on, guys. But I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to read one more comment and I'm going to roll. Someone said on Facebook they should joust walkers as their steeds, canes, and their poles. Are you saying they should joust with their canes out? I mean, that's definitely swaggy. Trump would definitely win, I feel like, but that's the future. There's actually a video on YouTube of Justin Trudeau boxing. Believe it or not, he gets in a boxing match. It's pathetic, but whatever. It's not easy to box, so I'll give him credit. I hear them all the time be like, oh, I'd beat you behind the shed, cowboy. Corn Pop would have popped you back in the cornfield if you would have popped my chair. It's like, what, dude? Like Biden's always like talking about beating up Trump. Trump's talking about beating up Biden. They should definitely fight. I mean, and like legally, I don't want to get like flagged for violence. Legally, in the UFC, let Dana White sponsor it or something. Conor McGregor can announce it with Joe Rogan. That's the future, not listening to him talk. It's just like, let them fight. I think Trump would win. I think he's like a 3-1 favorite, but I don't know. Biden does have that crazy old man energy. He really does. I'm not even making fun of him at this point. It's like, I think he might be able to do better than I think. Cause like listening to him yell, like Trump's like, hey, come on, man. Hey, come on, man. Hey, come on, man. I'm bigger than, and Biden's like, ah, like he might, Biden might run at him and just throw one punch. It's like if Biden can hit him with one punch, he might be able to win. But then again, if he doesn't win the fight within 10 seconds, he's going to get whooped. He's got that angry old man. Like, he loves to just like yell at workers and stuff. He'll be at like you remember when he was at like a factory and the guy like said something and he's like, and you're like, geez, dude, like you don't have to act that way, especially not on camera. You might want to do that when the cameras are off because there's an election coming up. But yeah, I would support them fighting in the UFC. I'm getting totally off topic. All right, guys, I got to go. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. God bless you. God bless your family. God bless America. God bless the world. Once again, I just want to show you guys this real quick. I designed this shirt myself. Sorry, I'm not the greatest artist, but I think it's pretty good, or else I wouldn't put it out. Freedom over tyranny. It's got an American flag. It has a little prey. I don't know if you can see. It's a little prey symbol, which is my dream rare symbol. But anyway, freedom over tyranny. And I'll just give you a little deep dive into my head. It's not the craziest thing I have to explain it, but I like this shirt. You know what I'm saying? It's a vibe, Jesus, it's a good time. I like my shirt, my God bless hat. I went through a what's it called? A drive-through. And this guy was like, man, I like your hat. Like, I like clothes like that. I don't like F you, get out of my way. I mean, I like seeing other people wear them. If it's like F Biden, I'll be like, yo, I like your shirt. I'll give people compliments, but me personally I don't like to like inflame everybody all the time. So like freedom over tyranny, it's not like in your face, F you, like go to hell. It's just like freedom over tyranny. I mean, if you hate that, you're a loser, but God bless. It's, I like to just chill out. When I'm in public, I'm not trying to make a huge statement unless somebody tells me to put a mask on, then I'll freak out. But, just walking normally, I'm not trying to be like, F your vaccine passport and go to hell. Like, it's cool, but and it's for other people. There's people that like that stuff, and I like seeing it. If I see that, if I'm in Whole Foods and someone has an F your back, I'm like, I like that shirt. I like you. It's a different vibe. It's like you could get a lot of love or a lot of hate. I like to just coast, get a lot of love. I'm not afraid of, but freedom over tyranny, good vibe. Not too crazy. That's my style. Dream rare shirts. You get it. That's kind of my wave. But all made in the United States. That's what it is. This again. The back, America. The green dream rare hats are like this. It's Velcro. And the pink hats and the black hats are the dad style hats. Not saying it's not for women because women like those too, but that's what they call them, the dad hats. They have the buckle. In my opinion, I'll give you my honest breakdown. This is not me selling it because I like both hats, but this is my literal analysis of the Velcro versus the buckle. I've done them both ways. This hat is bigger. I think it's like thicker, wider. The Velcro is easy. So, does it look as nice? It actually doesn't. Does it look terrible? No, I think it looks nice, but like the Velcro is easy. I have long hair. Sometimes the Velcro is definitely easier. The dad hat, I think, is nicer. I think the back is nicer. It looks sleeker. It probably costs more. I got to look at the thing, but it's definitely on that tip. I think it's a little sleeker and it's smaller. So it's like, I don't know. It's got a different vibe. It's more like a golf type hat. Like women, I think, look good in that hat. I think they look good in this hat too, but those are the pros and the cons. This one's bigger. It's like a baseball hat and it's got the Velcro. The other one is a little nicer in the back and it's smaller. It's really all preference. I like them both for different reasons, but just know that when you buy the hat, because you might think you're getting this one or that one. Same company, same quality, same everything. It's just, preference. It's like certain sizes of shirts and stuff. So let me know what you think. Appreciate y'all. Have a good day. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Having a lot of content. Real quick before I leave, for the first time, I have help. I have somebody helping me work on podcasts, videos, editing, all that stuff. I'm super thrilled. Today's my first day. It went great. So expect more content. Quality just as good, if not better. But now I have, we're branching out here. I'm trying to really scale it and get more productive. Usually I do one live stream. I'm exhausted. I edit something. I do like 7 things. I'm tired. I have to go to sleep. But now we're trying to build, like Biden said, build American businesses. I agree. Give me money, Joe Biden. I'm an American business. We got 1 employee now. Let's build. Let's give me, I don't know, couple $1 billion, and I'm sure, you know, I can make like 5 videos a day, probably 50 videos a day. So maybe I'll get some of that government subsidy, but I doubt it. God bless you. Appreciate y'all. I'll be back soon.